So namaste, yogis, and welcome to this chair practice. And today we're going to be working with the back of the body, the posterior chain of muscles, to create a little bit of stability and a little bit of strength to combat all of our sitting. So when you're sitting, the muscles along the back line of your body, particularly in your buttocks, are in a lengthened position. So not necessarily the hamstrings, but often we sit with a slight slump and we get a little bit of extra length across the muscles of the upper back, middle back, low back, and the buttocks. And in that perpetual lengthened state, they become a little bit weak. And today our practice will be all about creating a little bit more tone, a little bit more strength and support in those areas. Keep us injury-free as we go forward. So we are going to begin with not sitting, but standing. And I realized that the sun is just coming into this space, so perhaps I would shut the curtain. Please excuse me, I should have done that ahead of time, but hopefully that will make all the difference and the light will adjust. Ah, perfect. Righty-ho. Okay, so we're beginning with standing up. We'll have our chairs at the ready but to the side, and we'll start with our Kati Chakrasana, our twisting pose. So feet nice and wide, a little softness in the knees, just to help as we twist one side and then the other. Nice loose arms, allowing your head to follow your movement rather than lead it. And you might find that this is a little bit easier with your toes turned out slightly. A little easier on the knees, perhaps. Thinking about the back of the body, about perhaps a little tone across the buttocks, the space behind the shoulder blades, between them, and down the center of the back, across the backs of the hips. Keeping the arms and the shoulders really nice and loose. And we can begin to pivot on our toes as well. As we do that, focusing on those areas in the back of the body, from the buttocks all the way up to the top of the back of the shoulders. Just feeling as you twist what's engaging, what's talking, what's communicating, what's connected to your movement. And then we'll add a little dip of the knees. A dip and twist, bend and twist. And it's just the lightest of bounces as we transition through the center of the movement. And here you can begin to feel the front of the body coming into play as well. A little bit of action across the abdominal muscles. When you're ready, you can let your bounce go. Simply pivot. Bring your feet to stillness and allow your body to find its way back to stillness a little at a time. When you come to standing steady again, just adjusting your feet into a nice, comfortable position for you, turning the palms forwards to bring the shoulder blades towards each other, lengthening through the crown of the head, gazing downward or closing the eyes and taking a few moments just to feel the effect in your body of your movement. And when you're ready, you can bring your hands together at the center of the chest, chest lifted to begin with, then taking the chin towards the chest, and just with the hands gently in position, rolling one ear to one shoulder, and then to the other shoulder. So just rolling in a semicircle chin to chest, exploring the feeling down the sides of the neck, the back of the neck, the top of the back, wakening up. And we're working really gently. We're not pushing or forcing or straining, but we're listening to our body. We're listening to the response the body gives when we make these movements. You can go much slower if you want to, much more deliberately. And if you find a spot that just needs a little bit of extra work, you can sort of stop there, hover, maybe move in and out of it. Find a spot on the other side, the same. Maybe just moving in and out. When you're ready, you can come back to center, chin to chest, smile to yourself. Raise your head, release your hands, open your eyes. And I've warmed up already, so I'm going to dispense with this layer. There we are. Apologies for that. And so we're going to work into our shoulders now, a little bit of shoulder work. We're going to keep our elbows nice and soft and let our arms move a little bit with our shoulder work. So just exploring, it's the word of the day, exploring. Investigating how the shoulders feel, how the arms feel, and maybe go in the opposite direction as well, how the upper back feels. I feel like a swimmer when I do this, swimming the butterfly. And then taking the arms in different directions. So making your circles separate from each other and feeling the sides of the body begin to waken up as we work like this. Soften the elbows, maybe the head turns a little with the movement. And you can go the opposite way as well. And if you are inclined to do something approaching hula dancing instead, that's okay, you can do that too. So if your movement looks different, but it feels good, that's ideal. And coming back to center. Awesome stuff. Let's take our hands onto our hips. We're busy wakening up the sides of the body, so we're just going to shift the hips from one side to the other. Feel as if you push into your feet. So you're pushing into your hip and into your hip, into your foot, into your foot. Pushing away from the floor. And just doing as much as feels comfortable to do. So it doesn't need to be much. It can just be a little movement. That's okay too. And then turning it into your hip circles. So here, nice and soft in the knees. Rolling through the hips, very nice. A little bit of effort in the belly muscles, maybe a little bit of effort in the buttocks as well. Let's go the opposite way. And if you prefer to make less movement with your upper body and isolate this more to the hips themselves, that's okay too. Lovely job. Let's do one more time around on this side. And coming back to the center. Oh, wonderful. And so we're going to relax our arms a little bit. And we're going to do some breath with arms. So a little Tai Chi. It's not really Tai Chi or Qigong, but it looks similar, so we're going to call it that. Tai Chi arms. So we're going to plant our feet and maybe just turn the toes out ever so slightly. So if that doesn't suit you, you can of course bring them more parallel, but if it does, then that's great. Soft in your knees so that you're sitting a little bit into the knees. But if that again doesn't suit you, you can lengthen the legs a little. Tuck your tailbone under ever so slightly so you encourage the work in the buttocks. Lift in the belly, and we're going to take the hands to palms facing towards each other, elbows nice and close to the center. Breathe in as you take your hands apart, and breathing out as you bring your palms back towards each other. Imagine you're working against a big elastic band. So as you breathe in, engage the back of the body, the shoulders, the arms, to stretch the elastic band apart. And as you breathe out, resist it as you come back in. So you're using your muscular effort. Breathing in, reaching apart, oh, stretching against it. Breathing out, squeezing. Imagine you're squeezing a big beach ball. Breathing in, pressing apart. Breathing out, pressing together. Let's do one more. Breathing in, pressing apart. Breathing out, pressing together. Lovely job. We're going to straighten the legs. Just give one foot a shake and the other foot a shake, and bring the feet back down. Sit in the knees again. This time diagonal. Breathing in, stretching the palms apart from each other. Right hand down, left hand up. Breathing out, squeeze that ball back together again. Breathing in, opposite side, stretching the hands apart. Breathing out, squeezing back in. Feel the engagement of your arm muscles. Breathing in. Breathing out, press. Lovely job. Breathing in. Breathing out, press. One more to each side. Breathing in. Breathing out, press. Breathing in. Breathing out, press. Very good. Relax the upper body a little bit. Let's give the hands a bit of a shake and the wrists a bit of a wiggle. And we can just gently bring ourselves from one foot to the other. So a little coordination here, doing something with our wrists and something with our toes. I always love these bits. They make my brain work very hard. Very good. And then bringing yourself back to standing, we just give ourselves a bit of a wiggle, your shoulders a little bit of a wiggle perhaps. And so we are beginning to feel the effort in the posterior chain, in the muscles in the back of the body. So we can feel that we've made some effort with our belly muscles and quite a lot of effort across the shoulders here. And we're going to add to that. So bringing yourself to your chair, you're going to turn the chair so that we are facing towards the back and we can have our hands as wide apart as possible. And then here, we're going to come for cat pose with the knees nice and soft. And beginning by breathing in as we look forward and opening the chest. And then breathing out, press the chair away from you to round through the spine and bring your chin towards your chest, maybe just tucking the pelvis under slightly. Breathing in, imagine you're dragging your elbows back towards your knees or your hips, opening your chest. Breathing out, pressing the hands into the chair to round through the spine. Breathing in. And breathing out. We'll do one more like this. Breathing in. And breathing out. Very good. And then we're just going to step towards the chair and climb our hands up so that we're standing tall, and give the wrists a little bit of a shake if you need to. I find that posture is hard work for my wrists, so just giving them a bit of a shake out. Okay, so we're going to turn the chair the opposite way, or turn yourself around to the back of the chair. I'm afraid there'll be a lot of twisting of the chair around, and then we'll bring ourselves into our downward facing dog. So we want to be just far enough away from the chair to be able to lean a little bit forward, bend the knees, and then lengthen our tailbones behind us. So we hinge at the hip to bring ourselves into our downward facing dog position. And here with the knees nice and soft, just simply swaying the hips from one side to the other, if that feels good. Or you can stay in the center and lengthen one leg and then the other. So you get a similar sort of effect, but a little bit of different releasing action. And then we're going to look up towards the chair seat and walk ourselves back in. And turn sideways to face each other again. Okay, so here we're going to do a little bit of, I might turn slightly sideways onto you guys, a little bit of a swinging action. And you can, of course, keep your foot on the floor at any stage, but if you're able to, you can do this with your balancing on one leg. So I've got my right foot next to the chair. The foot that's nearest to the chair is going to stay a little bit soft as you point the opposite foot forward. And we're drawing a line around us, so a circle around to the back with our toes, and then coming back to the front. So if you can, keep your belly working just a little, feel the buttock engage as you need to draw the circle around your body. And if you can, draw it over towards the chair as well. So going as far around as you can to make the circle as full as possible, so not just a semicircle, if you can. You can keep a little softness in the standing knee, which will help you to move your hips better. Frees up some space. And we'll do just one more, like this. Very good. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So standing tall, pointing the opposite toe forwards, sweeping the toe over the floor, just round and back again. Feeling the abdominal engagement, the buttock engaging as well, keeping the body, you don't need to keep it still, but keep it lifted. If you can, crossing the leg over in front and behind, but just do what comes to your hips without forcing, without straining. Very good. Little softness in your standing leg if you need it for that extra space. And we'll do just one more. Aces. And then we'll come back to standing on both legs. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle if you need to. And we're coming all the way back to our cat-cow posture to start the sequence again, but we're going to add a layer every time. So this time, we've got the hands nice and wide, knees nice and soft, and we're going to do those sideways cats. So the barrel roll, where you come up, and then to all the way to one side, all the way down, all the way to the opposite side, all the way up. And let your head follow the movement. So the neck is an extension of the spine, and the head does what it naturally comes to it at the end of the neck. Try to press the chair away from you when you're in your rounded position, but keep the elbows nice and soft when you're moving to the sides and when the belly is coming towards the floor. Let's go in the opposite direction as well. And this week, Helen, I hope this feels a little bit more natural to you. Just going around in the circles. I seem to have a squeaky chair, so apologies for that. That's it. And this feels a little bit lighter on the wrists than the previous variation. So hopefully it feels good to you as well. Coming back to the center, whenever you're ready, walking towards the chair, standing upright. Going to turn the chair around or walk to the back of the chair for our downward facing dog variation. And this time we'll be lifting one leg off the floor. So make sure if you need to put your chair against the wall to stop it moving, if you think it might, that you've got that stability. Walking your feet away from you to come into your forward bend, making sure that your knees bend and you lengthen your hips away from you, your tailbone away from you first. So here we're going to bring our feet together or towards each other a little bit more than normal, firm in the belly, and we're going to reach the right leg back. And you don't have to do any more than that. If that feels like enough, you can leave it there. But if you want to, you can gently lift and lower the right leg. Lift and lower. lift and lower. We'll do one more, lift and lower, and slide the right leg back. We're going to take a moment here in the center just to wiggle the hips from side to side. And then coming back to the center, slide the left leg back. You can leave the left leg on the floor. The right knee is still bent. If you want to, you can lift the left leg and lower. Lift and lower, firm in the belly. Lift and lower. One more. Lift and lower, and slide that leg back underneath the hip. Feet a little bit wider. A little bit of swaying of the hips from side to side. Look towards your chair, press into your hands, and walk towards the back of your chair. Take a moment. It's quite hard work, so give yourselves a big thumbs up for that. And then we can turn sideways onto our chair. And this time, you can do the same action again as we did before, or you can give yourself a little bit of space and come up onto your tiptoes, and then do the same thing, but with the foot off the ground. So you're swinging the foot off the ground a little bit, across the body and back. Now, of course, you can actually do this with your foot flat on the floor if you'd like to, but sometimes that action of coming up onto the tiptoes helps us to use our standing leg in a really strong and powerful way. Okay, so a little bit round to the side and back again. Can also be done with the foot flat on the floor, or with your leg that's moving on the floor. Last one, and releasing down on this side. I'm going to take a moment just to bend the knees and straighten, bend and straighten, and then opposite side. Oh, it's hard work today, I tell you. Okay, so if you want to, you can stay with the foot on the floor. Nice little circles. It doesn't matter how big or small they are. If you'd like to, you can come up onto tiptoes and then swinging your leg, keeping your center really firm by using your tummy muscles, using your buttock muscles. And you're just making big circling motions with the leg. The leg is long, it's straight, toes can be pointed. And feeling all of that work in the back of the body. That gentle work, that gentle effort. One more. And then releasing the feet back, giving the knees a bit of a bend, a bit of a stretch, a bit of a bend, a bit of a stretch. We're going to come all the way back to our cat-cow posture. Whew, goodness gracious, we're being put through the ringer today, hey. So, with the hands nice and firmly planted, knees bent, feet together, or together-ish, we're going to take the right foot back. I'm going to breathe in and lift the right heel up as we look up. Breathe out, draw the right knee under the chest. And as we lift into our sort of rounded position, breathing in, breathing out. Soft standing leg as well, please. Breathing in, lifting the heel behind you, breathing out. Last one, breathing in, breathing out. Stand onto both feet, take the feet a little bit wider apart, soften the knees, and make any movements that feel good in your cat. So it could be wiggling your shoulders, wiggling your hips, it could be simple backwards and forwards, it could be making circles. Then when you've finished releasing, bringing the feet back together, pressing the chair away from you, little softness in the elbows, tucking the other foot, breathing in, lifting the opposite heel up, breathing out, rounding through the spine, bring the knee to the chin, breathing in or in that direction, breathing out, firm in the belly, soft in the standing leg, breathing in, breathing out, and last one, breathing in, breathing out. Step onto both feet. And just take a moment to do a gentle cat-cow or a wiggle from side to side. Then bring yourself up to standing. Very good. And then we'll take ourselves into our downward facing dog. Don't worry, I haven't got anything mad for you this time in downward dog. We're simply stretching out. So here we've got our feet underneath our hips, lengthening the tailbone and just simply enjoying your down dog. So here you can perhaps feel the engagement of the space underneath the shoulder blades. You can perhaps feel a lengthening down the hamstrings and an engagement across the belly and the sides of the body. We'll take another deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then looking towards your chair and walking in. And taking a moment, let's take a moment just to sit for a moment, to allow our bodies to assimilate all of that information. So sitting nice and upright, feeling your hands relaxing. Give your body a chance to listen to and to process and to absorb all of that input that you have made. Excellent stuff. And then when you're ready, we're going to stand up again. So I would really like us to do a kind of squat and release. So I want to show you first, and then I'll show you how to do it with the chair as well. So we're going to have our feet about hip width apart. They can be slightly wider if you prefer. And we're going to bring our arms, she says, elbows into the body and palms facing each other. So we're going to bend the knees. It doesn't matter how deep you bend, but bending as deeply as you feel comfortable to bend. And then as you release, you're going to take your weight onto one leg, take the opposite leg backwards and open the elbows wide. And then bring your feet back, bending the knees, bending the elbows, and taking the other side. So we're going to go from side to side, okay? And you will feel the effect in the back part of the body, in the buttocks, but also into the low back and the space between the shoulder blades, even into these muscles, I want to say lats, latissimus dorsi, and the, never mind, quadratus lumborum, all of these good things. It's not an anatomy lesson, okay? So if you can do it like this, going from side to side, if not, using the chair for support. And it would just be one hand, same arm as hand going back, same arm as hand going back. Let's start with the chair and see how we get on, okay? So hands on the chair in front of you, we're going to bend both knees. We're going to use the right leg first. So as you breathe in, lengthen the right leg behind you, lengthen the right elbow behind you, and come back to center, bending the knees. Then left leg and left arm behind you. Bend the knees. Lengthen the right leg and the right arm behind you. Bend the knees. Lengthen left arm and left leg. Bend the knees. Okay, so if that feels good, you can keep going with that one. And if you know that you will need a little support, that's the one to do. And if you want to try a freestanding, then we'll bend the knees. Right leg first, taking the leg behind you, opening the chest, bending the knees, elbows come closer together, left leg behind you, and bending the knees. So doing 2 more to each side. It doesn't matter which variation you're doing. And it doesn't matter if you wobble, that's okay. And then finishing by standing tall. We could really do, I think, with a little bit of wall action here. So if you have a wall, coming to the wall, if you don't have a wall, I will show you how to do this. If you don't have a wall, a downward facing dog on your chair is good. So if you've got a wall and you can place your forearms on the wall, walk your feet slightly further away from the wall, and then
Draw your elbow, imagine you're dragging your elbows downwards as you lift your chest and your chin, and then just come back to a more neutral position. So imagine you're pressing the hands into the wall, dragging the elbows down to lift your chest and your chin. You can lift your belly muscles as well, and gently back to a more neutral position. Last one, dragging the elbows down to lift the chest and the chin, and back to a more neutral position. Then we're going to turn around. Again, if you're not using the wall but you're using your chair, you can do the same thing seated on your chair here, but with the elbows pressing into the wall behind you. So we've got the elbows and the upper arms pressing into the wall. We're going to walk our feet a little bit further away from the wall, and then really pressing into the elbows and the upper arms and the shoulders and the back of the head, just gently lifting the body away from the wall and then relaxing. So pressing into the backs of the arms, the elbows, the shoulders, and a little bit into the back of the head, and gently releasing away. Releasing back rather. And last one, pressing backwards to open, and gently releasing. Very good. Fantastic stuff, guys. So now we're going to use our chairs and sort of begin to wind down a little bit. Okay, so here we've got our chair to one side, and so our standing leg will be the one that stays next to the chair. We're going to reach our opposite arm up and then reach over. And as you reach over, you can let your hips come away from the chair a little bit if it feels good. We're going to breathe in as we come back to upright and breathe out as we reach all the way over. Nice side bend. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and over. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and over. We'll do one more and you can hold if you want to. So breathing out as you come over, and then here, if you want to, you can open your chest up towards the ceiling and then come back to facing in the direction you were before. Pressing up towards the ceiling if you want to, and back to center. Only if you want to, one more time. And back to center, and then from here, coming all the way back up to standing. Awesome sauce. Feel the difference between the left and right sides of the body. Wiggle anything that needs wiggling. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So standing, you don't need to have the feet rigidly together, but standing with them nice and close, breathing in, reaching the opposite hand up, breathing out as you reach over, just allowing your hips to come away from the chair if you want to. Breathing in back to the center, breathing out and over. Breathing in and up, a little bit of tummy action here. Breathing out and over. Breathing in and up, you can even press your thighs together if you want to. Breathing out and over. Last one dynamically. Breathing out and over, and then we'll hold if you want to. Breathing in and up, breathing out and hold. So you don't have to hold, you can keep going in and out, but if you want to hold and you want to explore, you can open that top arm backwards a little bit and then come back to center. Just gently opening the chest towards the ceiling, maybe the chin too, back to center, still firm in the belly. Breathing in and opening, breathing out, and then breathing in, coming to stand upright, and breathing out, arm all the way down to the side. Fantastic stuff, guys. So a little twist, but if you need to give yourself a little bit of a shake before then, you can give yourself a little bit of a shake. You can do this twist. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Poppy's just got into Strictly Come Dancing, but they don't do the twist as far as I know. Anyway, so a little bit of a shake and a shimmer. And then we will do a little twist as well. So we're going to take the feet about hip width apart, And here we're going to reach, let's start with the right hand first, okay? So reaching the right hand forward and up, and then twisting the right hand behind us and down. Same thing in reverse, breathing in, reaching the hand back and up, twisting to bring the hand forwards and down. Let's do the right side again, breathing in, reaching forward and up, twist, reaching back and down. Reaching back and up, twist, reaching forward and down. The elbow can be nice and soft. Let's do one more, reaching up, twist, reaching back, up, twist, reaching forwards. Very good. Relax that side. Feel the difference between the two sides of the body. Let's do the same thing with the left. Reaching forward and up, twist, reaching back and down, reaching back and up, twist, reaching forward and down. Breathe in as you reach up, breathe out as you reach back. Breathe in as you reach back and up, breathe out as you reach forward and down. One more, breathing in. Breathing out. Lovely. Fantastic stuff. Oh, the candle's just gone out. Fabulous. So we're going to come to bring ourselves to sitting, and we're going towards relaxation. So if you want to put on some warm clothing, I've got to find my jumper from where I threw it earlier, or you want to have your blankets close by, and things like that. So grab hold of whatever it is you need to grab hold of. And make yourself comfortable, because the body relaxes so much better when it's warm than it does when it's too cold. Okay. So coming to sit towards the edge of your seat, making sure if you need something under your feet that you've got it handy. And we're just going to do a little bit of motions with our upper body. So hands can be on the hips, gently circling, and just doing what feels good to you. So it might be that you want to do a little bit more of movement and include your head as well. And it might be that you prefer not to do that. That's okay. We're going to reverse the motion. Use your feet as well. So press into your feet as you need to. Very good. And just find a comfortable, natural movement for your neck as well. Coming back to center. Whew, that's made me quite dizzy. So taking a moment if you need a moment. And then sitting yourself just a little bit further back, we're going to take a forward bend as well. So breathing in as you open your chest first, lifting in the chest, maybe leaning slightly back. And as you breathe out, let your hands find your legs, slide your hands down your thighs, your knees, your shins, and fold forward. And just coming to wherever feels good. So it doesn't matter how folded you are. Take a couple of deep breaths here. If it's helpful, if you're able to, just relax the back of the neck as well. You can do a gentle nodding and a gentle turning of the head from side to side. But only if that feels like it's useful. Then we're very gently going to press into the legs, engage the belly muscles, and roll up one vertebra at a time until you're back to sitting upright. Very good. So we're going to take another forward bend, and this time we're going to do a little explore to one side and then explore to the other.
If you prefer not to do that, you can simply stay in the center, that's fine. And if you prefer not to forward bend, you can stay upright as well. So if you're joining in, breathing in, widening the chest, widening the elbows, looking up. As you breathe out, let your hands find your legs, scoop your belly in, slide your hands down to find towards the floor. And it doesn't matter if they don't get to the feet, that's all good. Take a deep breath here in the middle. Sigh out through your mouth. Walk your hands over towards the right side. So you're folding more over the right leg. If you can, wrap your left arm around the outside of your right leg and just use it to give yourself a little bit of length. You're not pulling or hauling or grabbing. You're just using that reach to give yourself a little bit more length. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come back to the center, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And walk your hands or reach the hands over to the left leg, fold over the left leg, reach the right arm towards the outside of the left leg. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come back to the center, one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then firming the belly, pressing firmly down, rolling gently up, one vertebra at a time until you're sitting upright. You can bring your feet towards each other. And just take a moment to observe the effect of that. So what we've done there is we've stretched out all of the structures that we'd encouraged to have tone and contraction and shortness. So we've given them length again. If you need to give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, you can give yourself a little bit of a wiggle in the shoulders, no worries. And for those of you who prefer not to twist with your legs crossed, you can keep your feet close together. If you're able to twist with your legs crossed, crossing the left leg over the right leg, sitting tall, we're all going to twist in the same direction. So take the right hand across the body to the outside of the left thigh and reach the left hand behind the body to open the chest, and keep reaching that hand away behind you and drawing the shoulder blades towards each other down the back. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Turn the head only if that feels comfortable to do that. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we're just going to gently return to center, head, and then arms. And if the legs were crossed, then legs. Take a moment to observe in the center, crossing the legs the opposite way only if you're crossing. Don't have to, it's not an obligation. Sit tall, reach the left hand across to the outside of the right thigh, reach the right hand forward. Breathe in as you turn into the right side, turning open. Keep the right arm reaching away from you, but draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Turn your head if that feels comfortable. Deep breath. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Turn to the front with just the head. Release the hands, unwind the spine, and cross the legs. Wonderful stuff. So hopefully now you're feeling nice and wrung out. That's the action of twists. And ready for a little bit of softness and stillness. So I'm just going to grab a blanket here and a block, because I was foolish enough not to have these prepared ahead of time. And so you can sit forward for this next practice if you want to, but if you feel ready, if your back's worked really hard today, the back of the body. So if you feel ready for a release, then you can draw yourself into the back of your chair. And you can even do this reclining on the sofa if that's how you choose to relax, or in bed. We're going to have the palms turned upwards and the palms open for a little alternate nostril breathing, but done with our hands, okay? So relaxing the upper back towards the chair, lengthening through the back of the body, lengthening up the sides of the neck, and then softening the forehead, the area around the eyes, the mouth, the tongue, the jaw, and closing your eyes or gazing downward if you prefer. Take a moment to find your natural rhythm of breath. And then gently deepening that breath. We're going to shift our breath from one side of the nose to the other by using our hands open as open nostrils and closed as closed nostrils. So breathing in through both nostrils, both hands open. Then close the right hand, breathe out on the left side. Open the right hand, breathe in through both nostrils, both hands open. Close the left hand, breathe out the right side, right hand open. Open the left hand, breathe in on both. Close right, breathe out left. Open right, breathe in both. Close left, breathe out right. Open left, breathe in both. Close right, breathe out left. Open right, breathe in both. Close left, breathe out right. Open left, breathe in both. Close right, breathe out left. Open right, breathe in both. Close left, breathe out right. This is the last one. Open left, breathe in both. Close right, breathe out left. Then relax both hands. Perhaps turn the palms downwards. And breathe gently through both nostrils, allowing your breath to find its new, natural, deep rhythm. If you haven't already shifted into the back of your chair, taking a moment to bring yourself into a place where you can relax the back of the body a little bit better. Feel the effort and tension melting out of your face, softening the features of the forehead, the area around the eyes, the mouth, the tongue, the jaw. Feel that same sense of melting release from the top of the head, the sides of the head, the back of the head. Feel that sense of softening, letting go, coming down the back of the neck, across the top of the shoulders, down the throat, across the chest. Feel that sense of releasing, along the arms, from the shoulders to the elbows to the wrists. Releasing and softening the backs of the hands, the palms of the hands, the fingers and thumbs. With the arms heavy and relaxed, feel that sense of letting go, melting over the back of the body, from the shoulders to the top of the hips, down the sides of the body, the front of the body, from the collarbones to the top of the groin. Feel a sense of heaviness coming into the hips, the pelvis, the buttocks. Allow them to soften and surrender down into the seat. Feel the legs, particularly the thighs, releasing. The knees softening, the calves releasing. Feel that sense of softness come across the ankles, the top of the foot, the sides of the feet, the soles of the feet, and through all of the toes. The whole body relaxing and releasing. Feel the breath slowing, softening, relaxing a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your fingers and your toes by gently moving the fingers and toes. And if you'd like to, you can roll your wrists and your ankles. And today, I'd like you to find a way to stretch, a little bit like a child or a baby stretches, or a cat, where you just sort of find your way into a stretch. You're easing through multiple layers, easing out tension, easing out stiffness. Not really trying to get length, just to get the sensation of stretch. And when you're ready, if you need to, you can yawn. Bring your hands together, rubbing the palms. Perhaps they feel a bit warmer than normal after that stretching. Pressing them firmly, you're rubbing them fast. And when they begin to feel a little warmer still, placing the hands over the eyes. Feeling that sense of warmth soften the area around the eyes, blinking into your palms a few times. When you're ready, releasing your hands down as you open your eyes. Namaste, guys. Thank you for joining me for this practice. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you're watching on the video and you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.